Hey, gang, you know, this has been a very special year for me. And I, of course, want to thank my audience here and you at home. And all of you for the opportunity to express my views and hear those of our guests. Now, I look forward to sharing 1989 with all of you. And for our last show of 1988, I'm throwing you a Morton Downey Jr. party. And you know that can get us all in trouble, right? Which happens to be in progress right now. So if you don't understand what we're saying, you maybe didn't understand it all year long. Anyhow, Happy New Year. God bless you. Now, let's have a party. You guys look What? You want some KO pectate for that, pal? You guys, really a nice looking audience. Hey, how about our official Mort Downey band, the Flamin' Caucasian? Later on, sit down, relax. Later on in the show tonight, you'll meet a pal of mine that I've been writing songs with for about 16 years, David Lloyd, and he's in from California, gonna stick around for the next 4 or 5 months. We're gonna try and have some fun tonight, reminisce a little bit about the past year, and talk about what might be happening in the year upcoming. We have the psychic with us tonight, who, when I came out, predicted about 3 months ago that I would injure myself within the next 10 hours and be sick in bed with something else within 2 days. Now, I had never been in bed for an illness in 11 years. I never hurt myself in any bad way. That was the time when you were watching the show and I was on crutches. I came out, did a high five, came down, and tore my calf muscle within 2 hours after this lady predicted it. 2 days later, I was in bed with bronchial pneumonia. So this is a psychic supreme. She's going to tell us what's coming in the next year. Of course, as all of you remember, I am the psychic who predicted last year that Dan Quayle would become the vice president, January of last year, right? That the Dodgers would win the World Series. And what else did I predict? Giants would make the playoffs. That the Chicago Bears could kick their ass anyhow. And some other various... Oh, and I predicted I'd get divorced. Oh, yeah. Easy come, easy go. No, a very... And if my ex-wife is watching the show tonight, sweetheart, Happy New Year. I hope you have a great one because you gave me 10 great years and I enjoyed them. So. But watch what I do with the next 10, baby. How about opening this show the way we do all the time with our animation? Let's see what my weird producers have come up with for this show. They give me a bunch of crap here to look through. That's really nice. Oh, there's another thing I predicted. That plane would lose its roof, flying into Hawaii. And that one guy, remember I said one guy would have his arm ripped off? Remember I said that? Huh? Yeah. All right, okay. Is that... You also predicted that President Reagan would have a baby. There. Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, that Mr. Gorbachev would have a baby. Got that? And do you remember I predicted the deaths of John Carradine? And who else? John Houseman. And Max Robinson. Everyone said, oh, Max, going to go on forever. I predicted he would die. Now, what should we do about 1989, just around the corner in a little while? Well, we could talk about the war on drugs. That's a bore, because there is no war. I mean, there's no war, man, when no one's really doing anything about the war on drugs. We haven't gone into Colombia, Mexico, Bolivia, our so-called allies that we supply American money to, American aid, economic aid, foreign aid, and what do we get back for? Diddly squat. Let's hope that George Bush will be a man who will recognize what the American people want him to recognize. We want the money to stay here for a change and aid the folks here who need some help. Right? How about if we say, how about if we focus 1989 into a year that the family really comes back together? Nuclear family is what they designated it in 1952. What a drag that is. The nuclear family exploded. It exploded with divorce. Better than 50% of marriages end in divorce. I've tried to keep my share of the statistics moving there. 100% is what I'm been shooting for. The latchkey kid, forced to live by himself for the greater part of the day because mom and dad have to work. Is that mom's fault? Is that the women's lib movement fault? Not really. That's the fault of an economy that faltered during the latter years of the Eisenhower administration, that started to rebuild during the Kennedy administration, completely fell apart again during the Carter administration and the first years of the Reagan administration, forcing ladies like this to go out and probably have to get a job, to be able to make a living. $31,600 is the medium that people in this country make. Well, that might be great if you're living with our folks in Des Moines or some of the folks in Mesa, Colorado. $31,600 doesn't go very far in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Connecticut. Baby, you can hardly get yourself a couple of good nights in a bar with some brews for that money now. It's sad. So a lot of people are having to work. So let's bring the family back together again, cut the divorce rate, get some morality back in there, start protecting kids again, not let another Lisa Steinberg happen to us again, a little girl who gets murdered by her mother and her father. I don't care what the damn court system says if they've separated head of Nussbaum and that she was an abused woman. She was abused because she was the woman who brought the drugs into the house. She started the drugs, not the jerk Steinberg, who should be just have them cut off and sewn on his earlobes. She was the These are some of the things, as we get ready to have some fun now, these are some of the things that we should pray for in the year 1989. And we've got a lot of people to thank. I thank God. Whether you believe in him or not, someone's doing it better than we are because we've been screwing it up. We're going to be back in a second, and we'll hear some wild political predictions. Stay with us.
State's largest Chevy dealer, and that's why Doyle Chevrolet brings you select quality used cars and trucks, guaranteed quality, or your money back. It's true. When you buy a select quality vehicle at Doyle's and you're not fully satisfied, simply return it undamaged within 10 days or 1,000 miles, whichever comes first, for a full refund with no gimmicks, no hassles, no surprises. When it comes to price and quality, Doyle's the dealer for you. We will not be undersold or your money back.
A little Happy New Year time for you here, gang. We're going to talk about some politics for a minute. That's always a drag. You get that? While we're talking politics, you're at home, and you say, well, I'm going to have my real New Year's Eve tomorrow night. Fine, do that. So you can drink tonight because I know you're not going to drive. This might be the segment you want to drive and drink in. Let's introduce Leroy Montana. Hi, Leroy. How are you?
I'm just fine. Thank you. I'd like to introduce...
And Linda Walden. How are you, Linda?
Hi, how you doing?
See you. Linda is a trans medium Clairvoyant.
Trans.
Trans.
You don't know what else.
I have a funny feeling we're going to find out tonight. Linda, sweetheart, baby, darling, angel, may I see your underwear, please? Is that nice? Yeah. That's nice.
You want to see my underwear? I don't have them.
It's nice
His
out
is at the laundry, Mort. Please
His
don't embarrass me.
underwear is at the laundry? You're here, sans underwear?
Sans underwear, that's
You
it.
got nothing on those pants?
I can show you.
Don't give his phone number, or else all the women will be calling.
I don't know why. It doesn't look like any big
That's not a
thing to me.
prediction. That's no prediction.
All right, Leroy, let's start, all right?
Okay, Linda was going to start. She had something to say first. On this New Year. She wanted to...
Go ahead, sweetheart.
Yes.
Go ahead.
When I meditated this morning, I meditate every
You
morning.
do that in the bathroom?
Well, actually, I would like to tell you that I think you're pretty psychic from what you said before, and yes, I do. Because I get up earlier than everybody else, and it's warm, and the pipe is there.
Turn the water on, no one can hear what's going on.
No, I just have the heat pipe. We live in an apartment in New York, the radiator pipe.
Oh, you got that pipe that goes through the ceiling?
Yeah, and
and it makes noises, and you turn the water on when you're sitting on the toilet, no one hears you.
Nobody hears.
I know.
And
I do that all the time. You go in and you...
Everybody does it. Everybody does it. That's the first prediction. Go ahead.
And when I meditated this morning, what I got was that there was really, first of all, a really good group of people that were going to be here. That there was... that not only were the people that were going to really bring us into the new year with their
cosmic energy.
right, but that all of your viewers and all of the people...
I feel their vibrations right
Right, well, I think
Everybody's
you're
got
pretty
vibrations.
psychic, Lord.
now. I'm picking up good
Really, anyone?
vibrations.
Right.
I'm living on good vibrations.
So what I saw was that we're all connecting to bring in the new year on a level that is for us, together.
Okay, gang.
Listen, the truth of the matter is we're all here together. We're all here.
You could have
All
been
right,
here
okay, let's do
yesterday.
something that's a little more exciting, right?
First of all...
Frankly, that was extremely boring.
Okay, I have one thing I'd also
Please,
like to say.
is it as exciting as that last
Yes.
one?
Okay, I asked for one prediction for you because I knew that our person was going to give a prediction. And the only wonderful prediction that I wanted to just have one for you, and that's that you're going to start getting really, really excited about what goes on behind the camera. And that you're going to start, like, producing, but even bigger than that, conceptualizing.
Way.
And you are going to be surprised.
No, I leave behind the camera
we'll
to
see in 2
Zebra Davis
years.
and Bill Boggs.
We'll see in 2 years. When your first
Now,
feature film
let me
comes
come. When my first picture comes out?
You bet.
No way.
We'll
No
see.
way.
We'll see.
No. I'm going to go to Leroy. What is your prediction for the health and longevity of President George Bush? Give me some specifics.
They can't, with Dan Quayle as vice president, no one can afford to have anything happen to George Bush. As a matter of fact, you think about who's been running the White House for the last 8 years, who was the head of the CIA, and you'll know who's coming into the White House with lots of experience.
We thought it was Nancy.
And the L word is going to be used by George Bush because he's going to be forced into it because of need. The L word. That's right.
Linda, some 2 of the biggest threats to world peace in '89. 2, just 2.
Chemical warfare coming from unresolved problems in Iraq, Iran, and Afghanistan, where they can't really afford. And I think...
That's enough. How about it, Leroy? Leroy, The financial state...
Well, that got something to say about that.
No.
No?
The financial state of the USA next year.
Everybody's on credit cards. Everybody's tapped out. Everybody's barred against the future for the present. Everybody's maxed out. The super corporations, the individuals, everybody's on plastic, and we're in big, big trouble.
But I think everybody's got a year and a half before it really hits.
So charge fast.
Charge fast!
All right. Leroy, to show how accurate Leroy is, will Dan Quayle be elected vice president? All right, Linda. Elvis. All right. Now, if you saw Life magazine last week, you saw me interviewing Elvis Presley. Is he alive?
No. Yes, and he's alive. He's alive inside of lots of us. He's available.
He's a spirit that's close to Earth. But there's a lot of phony Elvises around.
You all have the power to
check out their plastic surgery records.
You all have the power. You all have it. You can get Elvis. You can hear
all
Elvis.
Right, okay,
Elvis
Leroy.
Who?
I'm afraid to ask this one. This is what I'm afraid of. Who is the next public figure to be involved in a sex scandal?
Oh. Question, Morton.
I said scandal. One time isn't a scandal.
It depends on how famous you get.
It depends on where you want to look. If you want to look into politics, look at the very top.
Yeah.
Very top for a sex scandal.
Yeah.
You bet.
All right, who'll be at the very bottom?
But he was the head of the CIA, so it might never come out.
All right. Now
what
next,
about Barbara and the dogs?
Barbara and the dogs. Barbara. Sex scandal?
You might have to edit that one out.
That one of the greatest dangers that's facing the country, that's facing all of us right now, is from massive levels of low radiation. Massive doses of low-level radiation is what is one
Where's it coming from?
It's coming from the nuclear plants. It's coming from
your mother's microwave and all of those baked potatoes that it was. Oh, yeah. I know. How can we live without them? I know.
I don't know where someone put something in my cup, obviously. This can't really be happening. Next, however, we're going to talk about colliding balloons. That sounds interesting, doesn't it? Sounds interesting, but there will be 3,916 people killed in a stadium in the United States next year. Watch this. I gotta tell you, they talk about the great sports talk shows in this nation. I hear a lot of people talk about Pete Franklin, who was a blithering blob of a slob who doesn't know his butt from second base. There's one guy in this country who can tell you, baby, his name is Ed Andelman. He's from Boston, Massachusetts. How you doing, Eddie?
Well, fine, Mort. I just got to tell you one thing. You've made me very proud. I've spoiled my kids. I've given them cars, everything in the world. I've never impressed them. I'm here tonight on the Morton Downey show, and they said you're a great pop. God bless you.
Okay. Eddie, Eddie is a sports prognosticator supreme. So I'm going to ask you, sir, as the only guy I know who predicted that Boston would not win the World Series, and indeed the Dodgers would you tell me who is going to be the winner of the 1989 Super Bowl?
That's easy.
Eagles.
Mort.
How about Chicago Bears? Go ahead.
I believe it's going to be the Cincinnati Bengals with Boomer Esiason. I think Boomer Esiason is the next great quarterback and leader in football.
Boomer Esiason is the next great quarterback and leader in football. Will he be as good as John Elway, who was never good at all?
John Elway is like the Oprah of football. He's like the Mort of football. You understand what I'm saying? He's got natural leadership. He's going to go out a winner, and I'm very excited that Cincinnati has a great chance to win this year.
All right. How about the 1989 World Series? Who's going to win that one?
It's going to be a rematch between the Red Sox and the Mets. The greatest single World Series ever played, the greatest single World Series ever played, and at a time when the Mass General in Boston had lines around the block for people, because of Bill Buckner, to check themselves into intensive care. It was an experience I'll never forget. It was an unbelievable World Series, but I think there's going to be a rematch.
All right, then hockey. Let's go to hockey and basketball. First, let's go to hockey.
Well, hockey's easy.
1989 Stanley Cup.
Hockey's easy. Whatever team ends up with the players with the most teeth at the end of the year. The most teeth at the end of the year usually wins, or the most French-Canadian names.
Edmonton, of course, will not repeat it, even though they've got a good team.
Mort, I refuse to discuss a Canadian alien hockey game that's played by third-grade dropouts from Canada. I do not accept hockey as a sport. And I don't see what's so great about Gretzky. I mean, basketball's where it's happening in the 90s and in the year 2000. Basketball, the game of the street people, the game of the big cities, is now becoming the game of the world. Michael Jordan, the most spectacular athlete in the world.
Oh, so how about NBA champion? Who are we going to have?
The NBA champion this year, I'm almost positive, and I'm upset with my own pick, Mort, but the Detroit Pistons are the finest, deepest team in basketball.
All right. Right now, I'm going to tell you who I think is going to win the Super Bowl. I think it's going to be the Chicago Bears. Right? World Series, I think, will be the Boston Red Sox. And I'm going to agree with you on the NBA champion Detroit Pistons, but I've got a surprise for you. New York Knicks are playing one hell of a game of basketball. Now, tell me about the major trades in each sport.
Well, I think
basketball, football, baseball.
Well, I think what's going to be different in sports this year is not the trading, Mort. I think you're going to finally see a rebellion of the sports fan. I think the sports fan is sick and tired of the whining athletes, the multi-million-dollar contracts, the owners sniveling their losing money.
We've been sick of this for years. Haven't done it good.
$3 hot dogs, people in the booth that can't speak English, ex-jocks, so much over-coverage, overkill in sports. What it really needs, and I'm not saying because I'm here, Mort, it needs a live, vibrant people. You did a Red Sox game this summer for an inning. I mean, everybody in New England was going wild because you called it like it is. If I owned a sports team, Mort, I'd have you negotiate with some of these agents and some of these athletes because you know how to do it, Mort. You tell them to get lost.
All right. Please tell me one important prediction, your blimp prediction for '89.
I think blimp warfare is going to break out in the United States of America. Goodyear has had this tremendous ride so that we all think that it's an important event. The Goodyear blimp is there. They're mentioned on television. All they do is provide blimps. I'm concerned about the free air. Why doesn't every other corporation, every Japanese corporation come over? The Fuji's now got a blimp. Pretty soon there'll be no blue skies over sporting events. There'll just be blimps in their lousy advertising.
Think there's liable to be one of those Black Sunday blimps going into the crowd, killing over 3,000 people, probably at the Meadowlands.
It's bothered me that in every stadium in the country, there are those two-winged planes flying around and saying, don't forget Fred's used car shop, and they circle the stadiums. We've already had one example in Baltimore where a plane actually went in there. Thank God the stadium was empty. But I do think it's petrifying, just the thought of it. I just want to make one more prediction, Mort, that somehow, some way, I think Don King is going to adopt, legally, Mike Tyson. Because that's the most bizarre situation I've ever seen. And what it is, it's like the Moonies. He's got control of the heavyweight champion of the world.
Unfortunately, I think because he has control, poor Mike Tyson, who would have been the greatest heavyweight of all time, is probably going to be out of the sport within 2 years.
Boy, I'll tell you, it is a sin, Mort, that somebody, and you talked about drugs before, I'm sick and tired of these athletes getting second, third, and fourth, and fifth, and eighth chances. I think everybody's made mistakes in their life. I know I've made plenty. I think you have too,
never
Mort.
made any.
But the fact of the matter is that once there's one, from high school on, once there's one drug problem, the sport must ban these athletes for life.
Forever.
So we'll have some.
Forever.
We'll have some heroes to
LT
look
ought to
at.
be gone, even though he's a great player.
Right on.
History. Eddie Andelman, you're a great pal. I want you to meet a gentleman by the name of Dr. Fad. Where is Dr. Fad? How are you, sir?
Hi, Mort.
Nice to see you, pal. Now, we're going to talk about the fads. We're going to talk about the fads. Huh?
Ah, I missed that there.
What did he say?
Wall walkers, wall walkers.
walkers.
There we go.
All right, what are these fads?
Well, fads,
I want to ask you, Dr. Fad, I want to ask you very plain and simply, how soon before the Japanese take over everything in this country?
9 months.
9?
You have lipstick on here. You know that?
It's not
Is
from
that- is that a new
it's not
fad,
from
huh?
you, is it, Precious? Huh?
Nah, not from me. Not
I have
from me.
lipstick,
But
and
you
it's
see-
probably from this beautiful young lady or this beautiful young lady
We hope
or
so.
that guy there.
Think about that. You see, fads are fun because, you see, they're like things like the pet rock. Everybody can make $1 million overnight, and the fun thing is everybody thinks they can do it, you know. And here, you know what this is? Gorby. This is a Gorby watch, okay? Of course, he was in town, clogged up all the traffic, right? So somebody came up with a Gorbachev watch, and who knows, he could be the next hottest merchandising item.
Gordy watch.
Could be, huh? And then we have things like, look at this. People try to come up with all kinds of, you know, if somebody can sell rocks and boxes, you can obviously sell the Everbrown plant. This is for people who can't keep anything alive, and it looks like this, huh? You think, now, the man who markets this called me and told me that, I don't know why, but it's not selling.
It's not selling. Too bad.
But,
Here, want that? Hang on.
Don't want it, it'll turn green
Take
on
it home,
you, huh?
put some ornaments on it for next Christmas.
And then people send me, you know, these are, you know, fads to be people send me. Well, there's a fun one, Mort, huh? You see? Here, have a wall walker. Okay?
This is the original pablum puker.
You see, that's a good fad, you know, because it's no reason, it's just kind of fun, right? It's a good Happy New Year item. It could be a big fad, right? Now, if you had a really bad... If you had a really bad 1988, huh? You could have one of these dismembered bears. It's not your tradition. It looks like a regular boring bear, huh? But this one you can say, I had such a bad ear, Mort, such a bad ear, such a bad ear, huh? And you can put him back this way, this way, this way. There we go, huh? How's that?
I like that. Is that nice? Oh, is that nice?
You know, people are into bears, you know. This one is if your kid doesn't want a regular teddy bear, then this one inverts into, it looks kind of odd for a while, huh? But look. Turns into a teddy bear, huh? A polar bear. You like that? You like that? No, you can't have it. It's a collector's item.
Oh, it's
Okay. You see, a lot of kids send me their inventions, you know. In fact, I have a syndicated
invented
kids...
this?
yeah, I have a syndicated kids Saturday morning show called
That's
the
right,
Dr.
you do, and
Fat
you've also
Show.
written a book, How to Create Your Own
Right,
Fad.
right. And this is one of the... Jeez. This is one of the inventions that a kid... It's called the sit-on-it briefcase. His dad is always late for work. Can't get a seat on the train, and this is what he made, huh? Pretty clever, huh?
Hey, Dr. Fad.
Yeah.
Sit on it. We'll be right back.
You're watching Morton Downey on 31 UHF.
All right. Time for Carol London. Carol London is the psychic I told you about who was on earlier this year. I had never been sick in bed for 11 years. I hadn't injured myself since I played football. She said I was going to injure myself and end up sick in bed within 48 hours. Well, within 3 hours of that prediction, on a high-five jump with Zebra Davis, my senior producer out here, I tore my calf muscle. And within 48 hours, I was in bed with bronchial pneumonia. So I'm really delighted as hell to have Carol London back to give us her predictions, some on me, and then we're going out to you, okay? Good. Hi, Carol. One of your predictions, I'm sure, is not that I will be taking Elvis Presley's place anytime soon.
Absolutely not. No. Although I enjoyed your singing very much. Thank you for the
I'm
gift.
glad you said that.
Get paid for it. No, it's easy. Number one, they're going to stop that habit of smoking. You've made yourself a personal promise that in 1989, you're going to give up your addiction to cigarettes. It's the one secret promise you've made yourself.
I've made that every year since 1973.
This year you keep it. This year you keep it. You have to keep it this year. Number two, there will be, by the end of April and the beginning of May, a decision for you. You kind of make your decisions in that period of time. If you look back over your life, it's the end of April and the beginning of May, that you just kind of get it together. You get quiet, you get removed, and some days in your life, you just move away from everybody. A lot of people think that's stuck up of you and whatever, but that's how you make it. You're going to be in a movie. It's an interesting story how you get into a movie, but you're in front of the camera. There's no way you're behind it. You're going to get into the major movie film, and you're going to do that. Now, the third thing about you is very interesting. It's as if you take monies that you've allocated to certain properties, and you're going to change your whole financial status into properties. You're going to just change.
You're going to go broke again, right?
Probably. For a little bit of while, by the end of February. It's not bad, and it's not negative. You're just going to change it. You're going to shift your whole damn life around. And it's good, and for the first time in your life, you're seeing clearly.
Does that mean I'm going to get remarried?
I don't think you're going to get remarried for 3 to 4 years. I think you're going to, for the first year, find out and love who Morton Downey is, his talent, his creativity, and his expertise.
Okay, I want you to go in the audience.
Sure.
I want to talk to some of these folks. Who wants to know something about themselves? Who wants to know something? Up here? Up here. Come on. Let's go up here. Yeah. Huh?
Hello.
I'd like you to meet Liza Minnelli.
Everybody says that.
Everybody says that.
Can I just kiss you? Thank you.
Hello, how are you?
Okay, fine. How are you?
Quite well, thank you.
I believe in psychic ability to a point, but I'd like
I
to
do,
know.
too.
I'd like to know when you people are going to really settle down and get the missing children back. I'd like to know when you're going to concentrate on the problems in society instead of when's Mort going to stop smoking, who's going to do this. No, but I'm saying like the major problems. Okay. I just really
Yeah, your mic. You got a mic right there.
Thank you. I would like to address that to everybody. Number one, I guess the answer is when society will permit us and take us for real. It's so difficult to call a police station. I've called Washington. I work with missing children. I help find them at no cost. No way is there a approach that you can put upon anybody missing. It's got to be the damnedest, horrible, emptiest feeling in the world. And I will go to nights and days to help find somebody. Some days I can, and some days I just can't. It's the limit of the psychic realm. When society will permit us to come in and not hang us, test us on every jury trial, every word we ever say.
All right, who else do we have here? Ma'am?
Hi.
Hi, sweet lady.
Hello.
How are
Hi.
you?
Okay.
Doesn't she look lovely?
Gorgeous.
Are you going to tell me about me, or?
Well, is that your question? I'm not
Yeah.
sure. All I
Yeah.
need is your first name.
Susan.
The plans you've made for the next 3 months are not as secure as you might think. The last 3 weeks have given you time to think about them. You're a very interesting lady. There's something about your personal life that isn't quite yet settled. Everybody
Nail
else.
something down. These are all little things. I mean, is she pregnant? Is she pregnant?
No, it has nothing to do with pregnancy. It has to do with her present marriage. And it has to do with changes in her present marriage that are not healthy because you want more independence.
When did I get married? What date was my marriage?
It's not yet. I don't think you did yet.
Oh yeah, she's married.
you're married.
Now I'm not a psychic. I'm not a psychic.
That's not.
I'm not a
it's
psychic.
As if there's
but
something
I would
funny
guess.
about that marriage.
No, I'm not a psychic. I'm not a psychic, all right? But let me tell you, I think you got married sometime in September.
The 15th.
Huh?
Whoa, no.
September the 15th, and it was supposed to have been another date.
The date did change.
The date changed.
The date
There was
changed,
a rolling date change. We'll go into this together, okay?
All right.
Now listen.
She would like to go into this with you two alone
Yeah.
and explain to you what's funny about your marriage. And I think you know what's funny about it.
Wait a minute.
I will tell you exactly what it is. It's as if the two of you will be
Where's the
separated
woodpecker
geographically because of a work-related incident. We work together. Well, that's going to be the change, young lady. You're not going to be working together after the end of January, and that's where that separation comes in. And that was her question.
All right, she doesn't want to.
Good.
This gentleman.
I just moved to New York 2 months
It
ago.
was a
From
difficult
Cleveland.
move. You had an option to move to another place, and I really
LA,
think you should have
exactly.
gone to another place. You should have come here. You came here on the advice of some friends and on a promise that to this day has not materialized, and they have promised you
How are
certain
things
things.
going to be in the next year, the next 12 months for me? My move, was it a good move or a bad move?
It wasn't the most progressive move you've ever made, but you will go back to
Where'd
where
you
you
come
came
from?
from.
Cleveland?
It was the
Cincinnati?
most aggressive move I've ever made in my
You're
life.
from Cincinnati?
From Cleveland.
From Cleveland?
I'm from Cleveland. Most
You
aggressive
go
move I
back
made
to
in my life.
Cleveland? Wait a minute. You go
The
back
most
to
aggressive
Cleveland?
move.
I could've
The
gone to
most
LA or
aggressive.
You go back to
The
Cleveland.
most aggressive move you could have made in your life was to stay in Cleveland.
You got to go back to Cleveland, then back to Houston,
Cleveland, I love it.
and then to Cleveland, and then out to L.A. But you shouldn't have. You knew you shouldn't have done that move. You had
And play at the
butterflies in your
Holiday.
stomach.
Play at Stouffer's downtown.
You know better.
Let me wait a second. We're going to come back to the audience, but we're going to go first to some commercial messages. I'm back with you guys. All right. All right. Tell me quickly one thing that you hated about 1988 and one thing you'd like to see happen in '89.
Okay. The one thing I hated in '88 was, I don't know. I don't,
Okay, one thing you hated.
One thing I hated I missed hating seeing your last year's New Year's show.
When I made all those predictions.
I missed it.
Missed it?
I really hated that. But I'd like...
You'd like what?
I love you.
What would you like?
I'd like to see this year's, because I'm going to be on it.
All right. Come here, pal.
Yeah.
What would you like to see happen in '89?
Well, I don't know. I'd like to see everybody start dropping all this racist crap that they've been pushing up all through '88 and stuff like that.
Through the press.
Yeah, through the press and all
Always
that
the
stuff.
press says that the whites and blacks don't get along.
Yeah,
together.
and they seem to be
and
the only
we
people who
always see
think
on
that.
this show and many other shows, they get together all the time.
Yeah, without a doubt. Hey, can I say hello?
Sure, hello.
To all my
how are
friends at Mayon's Pub.
you? Give me some music, baby.
Mort, the staff this year spared no expense for you. Brought you this bottle of Dom P. Gonna pour you a nice glass here. Ask you for the staff and all of us to make a good New Year's toast. And then we brought your good friend, a guy who's just written a new record for you. David Lloyd's with us. Make a toast. Let's play a little music. Happy New Year to you, buddy.
We kid around, we have a lot of fun. We do a lot of things, we get serious, we get tough. To all of those who may have been hurt, but who through their hurt on this show helped the rest of us. To God, who's been very good to me because he's given me you. And I pray to God I never do anything that disappoints you that can't be repaired. To America, God bless. My pal, David Lloyd. Go ahead, buddy.
comes to refreshing fun that keeps on going, Slice is clearly the one.
Beautiful women, exotic cars, and non-stop action are all part of Matt Houston's workday. Catch Matt Houston weeknights at 6.